Hey all, here OS Reviews, taking a quick look at a cute mini Bluetooth speaker today from Soundcore by Anker. This is their Select 4 Go, and it's a rival to something like a JBL Go 3 or Go 4, which has a similar size and form factor, but retails for twice the price at $50 instead. So as usual, Soundcore is promising excellent value, this being half the cost. Pretty good battery life of up to 20 hours per charge, significantly longer compared to the JBL Go 4 that gets around 7 hours. So we've got 3 times longer battery endurance here. Comes in a variety of vibrant colors that you can pick between. We have the blue version, which is quite eye-popping here. It's also IP67 rated against splashes and rain, so if it drops in the pool or if it gets wet, it will still survive. There's also TWS mode built on in, so if you pick up 2 of these speakers, they can pair with one another to act as the left and right channels, giving you that stereo separation and even louder volume output. Furthermore, you can still connect this to the Soundcore companion app, just like on their wireless buds and headphones, controlling some further EQ adjustments. And last but not least, this thing has a 5-watt driver and weighs 265 grams. Pretty typical for a smaller Bluetooth speaker like this. And here's all of the different colors that will be available in the near future. Quite playful. Now technically it's running on a Bluetooth 5.3 chip. It is using the standard Bluetooth codecs though of SBC and AAC. There's no LDAC or higher res audio codec support, which we see on some of their more expensive headphones, but that's also par for the course on a budget model, plus a standard USB Type-C charging cable, taking just around an hour or so to fully juice up. Now the overall build quality is definitely not bad for such a low-cost speaker. It's crafted out of this fabric material, reminiscent of the aforementioned JBL, as well as the Google Home Mini smart speakers, and the built-in lanyard is also convenient if you want to attach it onto a keychain, for instance, onto a backpack. Bottom here also features some soft touch rubber, so you can position it like this, or you can put it flat, and either way you have some of those accents. And otherwise on the top we have all the controls, including one for power. You can also tap on the Bluetooth key there to go into the TWS stereo mode. You'll also find controls here for volume, as well as play, pause, which are all relatively responsive, easy enough to click on with the rubber. There's a flap that covers up the Type-C port for charging to prevent any water from leaking in, and that is more or less it. Very simple speaker. Now, you don't really get additions like a 3.5mm headphone jack, however, nor will you find an SD card reader. Using it as a wired speaker or as an MP3 player alternative, those are features that you really only get in some of their larger speakers. And here's a quick size comparison with a pretty average size phone, roughly 6.5 inches, so as you can tell it's not going to be too large at all, just to grip and take with you when on the go, but still producing significantly more volume output that we'll hear in a moment compared to anything that's built directly onto your phone speakers. And that's because underneath the mesh you'll find both a tweeter as well as a passive radiator for a little added bass. So let's take a quick look at their companion app next. It's the same one found for their headphones, but pairs very quickly once you have Bluetooth turned on your phone. So reliability of the Bluetooth chip has been quite good in the couple of days I've been using it so far. The app also provides a battery indication icon up top. It will be color coordinated with your speaker, and you can also change the volume higher or lower, as well as go into the EQs. For example, there is the preset Soundcore signature, which is already very good. You can even check out specifically the kind of sound tuning from here, but you can further adjust it into more balanced neutral sound, treble boost for vocals, in addition to bass boost for, again, drum beats, EDM music based on your preferences. Alternatively, you can go into a custom mode and adjust the frequency sliders yourself if you're looking for that level of granularity, and even save a couple of different presets if you wanted to. You can go into a larger view of the frequency sliders as well to make it a little easier to adjust using your fingers. So if you're looking for that level of granularity and detail, it's nice to find on such a low-cost speaker. Additional properties on top include turning off the Bluetooth speaker with a single click from your phone, allow you to check if there's any firmware updates. You can turn on and off the speaker prompts, which are just the gentle chimes that you heard there earlier during the boot up. So there are no kind of annoying voice prompts here. It's pretty subtle, but you can also turn those off if you want it to be completely silent. And you can also go into a auto power off timer, so it will save a little bit of battery if you're not listening to music for X minutes. You can adjust between 5 minutes all the way up to 60 minutes. So the app is pretty straightforward and easy enough to operate. Nice to see that they didn't skimp on this feature just because it's a lower cost model. Let's move into an audio demo next. So as heard in that demo, overall sound quality is really not shabby for a pretty compact mini Bluetooth speaker that is smaller than a can of soda, but it definitely produces much more volume versus again any phone or laptop's built-in speakers. Sounds far richer and has a bit of impact, as you saw there earlier with some of the vibrations as it's hitting drum beats as well. Now obviously if you're comparing it to even larger speakers such as some other boombox style units, it's still going to be not quite as powerful. But within the context of a smaller speaker like this, I would say it's already better than you'll expect, punching above its weight class without sounding too thin or tinny. Particularly for casual music listening, for pop music, I don't think you'll be disappointed here at the end of the day. Connectivity was also quite good in terms of play, pause, volume all felt pretty responsive within a range of around 10 meters away from the phone. Didn't really notice any disconnections either, testing it with both Android, iOS, as well as Windows computers. Also, as shown in that water test, it can slightly float if it drops into a pool, and again, doesn't seem to impact the performance just letting it dry after a couple of minutes. Although I guess that is a double-edged sword of having a fabric texture compared to regular plastic, rubber, or metal, is those are a little bit easier just to wipe down compared to fabric. It may take a little bit longer for it to dry, just like with wet clothing. But the upside is it feels softer, it's more comfortable to hold, and at least makes cleaning possible. You can just rinse it off if some dust or maybe dirt gets collected on it because of the waterproof nature. By the way, the Soundcore logo on top here is a hard plastic versus soft touch rubber here on the strip, as well as then fabric on all the other sides. You can also hear how in the demo, again, sound is coming out from the front. There is nothing else coming from the sides. So you can either face the sound towards you, or if you lie it down, it can blast out kind of 360 degrees. Let's also do a very quick demo of some of the differences between the EQ presets. So we started off earlier with just the standard Soundcore signature. Let's go into balance next. Treble boost. Bass boost. So overall takeaway being that the EQs are surprisingly effective. They make a noticeable difference when you're switching between them. Again, the bass boost does make it a bit more impactful, dropping a bit of the vocals in the mids and highs, but compared to treble boost will kind of decrease some of the bass. Whereas Soundcore Signature I find to be a pretty good sweet spot. Felt like it had plenty of impact, but at the same time the vocals didn't sound too compressed either. So all things considered, got to say that the Soundcore Select 4 Go is a pretty impressive ultra budget compact Bluetooth speaker. It sounds far better than the size here would imply, and for that matter, the price as well. It is built quite well, and as long as you have reasonable expectations when it comes to sound, the overall volume here is actually not bad, produces a touch of bass as well for something so small that it makes listening to music, sharing with a couple of friends and family, just a bit more satisfying. Battery life as well as reliability of the Bluetooth chip are also pretty good. So even though it's lacking a couple more premium touches, like there's also no built-in microphone for using it to answer calls as a speakerphone. In addition, it doesn't have any hi-fi audio codec support, but if you're just looking for a cheerful but basic portable Bluetooth speaker, this is certainly a good alternative to some of the other brands. Looking to jam out and listen to music, I think this is actually a pretty good choice. Very clean sounding, minimal hissing or distortion, aside from just the sound itself. So you can check out more details if interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. A pretty neat mini Bluetooth speaker that doesn't break the bank, but also performs well enough. That has been the Select 4 Go.